Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. You know who it is. And it's time for a bit of news, a bit of opinion on this new Fortnite situation. It turns out that the franchise's company, Epic Games, is being sued for the game's usage of the Millie Rock dance as an emote, as an option for the players to execute as like a victory dance, or I guess when they're feeling particularly Millie Rocky. If you guys are familiar with Fortnite, even on a surface level, you should know at this point that one of the most popular and iconic things about the game is not just its battle royale style gameplay, but it's also the skins and the outfits, but most notably the dances that you could do in the game. Many of which, not simply as a result of the game, because a lot of the dances incorporated in the game were popular before they were in the game, but the game's incorporation of these dances has certainly opened them up to a crowd of people, most of them kids, who most likely without this game would not be having a Fortnite floss dance competitions at wherever you do such a thing. I try to avoid that stuff, but anyway. So Fortnite is incorporating these popular dances, many of which come straight from hip-hop culture. And right now, hip-hop, as we all know, is the cultural zeitgeist. So a lot of what climbs up through the ranks of the genre usually ends up transcending it and getting mixed out into other bits of popular culture. Obviously, video games, which we are talking about here, and this rapper, 2 Milli, who is credited with coming up with the dance. You can see older videos of him performing and rapping where he's doing the dance in the video. He is basically coming after them with legal help, which I imagine he would not have if not for his lawyers believing that he actually had a case, because no doubt 2 Milli does not have the potential legal funds that a company like Epic Games has. Okay, so I can't imagine that he has all the money in the world to throw at this. The lawyers that he probably has working for him are in this in the hopes that they will be able to get a cut of the settlement of whatever they're able to make for this. Again, I don't think they'd be wasting their resources and wasting their time if they didn't think they actually had a case here. And 2 Milli is not merely suing over the simple incorporation of the dance into the game. You know, the thing about the artistry of dance and coming up with dance moves that are popular, it's sort of difficult to become a successful dancer or somebody who sort of formulates these kinds of things without allowing those dance moves to spread and allow other people to use them. So there is obviously kind of a balance to be struck there in terms of what is and what isn't an acceptable use of the dance that you have created. I'm sure after this, 2 Milli is most likely not going to be suing someone like Playboy Cardi for being in New York and Millie rocking "Hide It in My Sock," you know, over Magnolian and that sort of shit. No, what sort of makes this situation unique is that Fortnite is literally selling this dance in this game, because if you're not entirely familiar with how the whole Fortnite racket, I'll call it a racket works, like many modern games and mobile games, a lot of the money made off of the Fortnite franchise is through in-game purchases. Because kids, they want to, and not just kids, but adults who play the game as well, they want to have certain looks, certain skins, do certain dances, have certain masks, have certain whatever. So to customize your character and have the option to look a certain way, do certain things, you have to pay with an in-game currency, but of course you can put money, actual USD, into the game in order to give yourself more currency, so then you can blow that in-game currency on things like dances and so on and so forth. And from what I understand, this Millie Rock dance within the game, which they call it the swipe it, swipey. So it's not directly called the Millie Rock, but the move. Shout out to The Verge here for this article. The move is actually pretty much indistinguishable from the actual Millie Rock. There's really no arguing that is the friggin' Millie Rock right there. The swipe it. Dances like this within the game can retail at like $9.50, almost $10 for a friggin' little dance that your avatar can do in the game. That's a nice payout. It's a nice payout, which, you know, obviously millions of players are buying these dances. Millions of players are buying these dances. Millions of players are buying these costumes and skins and outfits and so on and so forth. So that racks up a lot. That's a lot. And 2 million absolutely deserves a cut of that with no argument whatsoever. Now, listen, I'm somebody who's not really a gigantic fan of current day copyright law because I think much of the time it puts a damper on creativity more than it helps creativity. But with things being the way that they currently are, if we are to live under current day copyright law, because there's no other option at the moment, I can't just wake up and not have current day copyright law apply to me or you or so on and so forth. I can't just flip a switch and turn it off. If we are to live under it, I do agree with the philosophy that artists and smaller or more independent creators should use it against larger companies and corporations to protect their own creations, because if they don't, companies like Epic Games will abuse and take advantage of the creativity as well as the generosity of people like 2milli by putting these dances in their games and charging for them. Look, I mean, if 2milli was just this money-hungry dude, the Milli Rock has been everywhere over the past few years or so, okay? Past couple of years. Milli Rock's been everywhere. And there are a lot more people who I think he could be suing if he was that desperate. You know, everywhere the Milli Rock turns up, you need to turn to me and ask for permission to use it. But he's not doing that. He is specifically going after a company, a very lucrative company, by the way, with a very lucrative game, who are literally charging for this dance. And since this law is established, these copyright laws, I think Milli should be using them. And I think any creator on his level who has also come up with a dance that is landed on this platform should be using copyright law as well to protect their creations and get paid for it. This article from The Verge also mentions that Blockboy JB's Shoot is also used in this game. You know, whoa, whoa, whoa. Everybody's seen that friggin' dance. And also, let's see, the chorus of, oh yeah, Snoop Dogg's Turning of the Wheel from Drop It Like It's Hot. It's called The Tidy. That's cute as well. It's a nice name flip. Now, some of you might be saying at this point, Anthony, this makes no sense. Copywriting or suing over a dance move? I mean, I've never even heard such a thing. And honestly, before this article and before the situation, I haven't really heard of it either. However, it turns out that you don't even really need to Google or do internet research that far to find any sort of information or precedent on this whole concept. The good people over at LegalZoom have an entire article about specifically this topic. It's not even just couched under a larger article about intellectual property or anything like that. This is literally about how to copyright a dance. And it turns out the grounds for kind of getting the copyright rolling on a dance aren't even really that difficult or involved. According to the start of this article, the composition and arrangement of dance movements and patterns are copyrightable as choreographic works, provided they meet two criteria. The dance must be your original work, it must originate with you, and show some minimal level of creativity. The dance must be fixed in a tangible object. This might include a film or video recording the dance, or a precise written description in text or in a dance notation system. An idea for a dance is not entitled to copyright protection, nor is a dance that has been performed but not notated or recorded. A dance does not have to tell a story or be presented before an audience to receive copyright protection. Copyright protection for dance begins as soon as the dance is created in a fixed, tangible object. It does not need to be registered with the Copyright Office to receive copyright protection. Copyright protection generally lasts for the lifetime of the dance's creator and another 70 years after the creator's death. So, pretty interesting there. One question that I have off the top of my head looking at this, and this article came out in 2015, so this is not even a totally new idea. The one question that I have is, yes, sure, absolutely, the dance does not need to have I guess, a story being told or anything. But I wonder if the dance needs to be a certain length because we're talking about, oh, it's a choreographed work. And usually choreography has like many different dance moves over an extended routine or something. Like, could a simple two-step, which essentially, the Millie Rock and a lot of other dances being incorporated into the Fortnite games, can a simple two-step be copyrighted? And I would like to think in at least this case that would be true, because this dance is very specific. It is a pretty original dance. It is unmistakable in comparison to other dances. You wouldn't, I guess, sort of confuse the shoot for the Millie Rock. You wouldn't confuse the funky chicken for the Millie Rock. You wouldn't confuse the Harlem Shake with the Millie Rock. It's a pretty specific dance that looks a certain way and has very particular hand and shoulder movements. So you wouldn't mistake it for any other dance. And also, again, it's very popular as a dance move. It's been copied over and over and over in multiple music videos and multiple live performances. It's been name dropped and mentioned and rapped about in song after song after song. The idea of the Millie Rock, who made it up, and how long it's been around is all pretty well established at this point. And again, as it is noted here, copyright protection for a dance begins as soon as the dance is created in a fixed tangible object. It does not need to be registered with the Copyright Office to receive copyright protection. So it's not even like 2 Milli, as soon as he made the dance up, needed to mark it down, write a bunch of documents, and bring it to the Copyright Office and say, okay, I just made up this dance. I got to save this just in case somebody copies it, and so on and so forth. No, he's already met the criteria for copyright protection, and I would argue that that's the case for anybody who has come up with any other dance in this game. So I would hope and would assume that if this suit goes through and 2 Milli is successful, that other creators that made other dances, they should be looking for a paycheck as well. Now, what I would ideally like to happen is not necessarily that these rappers or whoever made up these dances, whoever they be, that they not necessarily sue Fortnite into oblivion and that it's gone forever. Rather, what I would prefer is that a system is set up to where not only do the creators get a chunk of what has been made off of these dances so far, but they continue to get royalties off the sales of these dances as emotes in this video game and in any other video game where this stuff continues to turn up. Again, I don't think that 2 Milli is in the wrong here, and I don't think the way that he's going about executing this suit and who he is suing and why he is suing them is at all offensive, greedy, or misplaced. I don't think this is, another rapper or a kid or somebody just doing the dance for fun or in a viral video because they think it's really cool. This is a company with an already incredibly successful brand and franchise literally selling, directly selling a literal dance move in their video game. And I mean, when you're quite literally selling the dance itself, for people to use in the game, I don't know, I think that's kind of overstepping a boundary. That's not merely preventing somebody who wants to have fun doing the dance from just having fun and doing the dance. Kids are buying these dances. They're spending money on these dances, and the creators deserve a cut. They deserve a cut. And that's my opinion. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of all this. You're the best, you're the best, you're the best. I will link down below to this Verge article and this how to copyright a dance page, just so anybody else out there who is watching this video, if you guys know anybody who does choreography and any of their dances are getting ripped off in a Fortnite game or something in the future, let them know what's up, because this is certainly important to note. For anybody who's doing anything creative, because there are artists all the time who do see their works get ripped off in mainstream pieces of media, and when that does happen, it comes time to defend your creativity and your rights and your bottom line. So Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, how to copyright a dance, Fortnite, forever.